Coffee with Jeff. Coffee with Jeff. Coffee with Jeff. Coffee.
Well, hello, welcome to my home. My name is Jeff. I'm an old man from the Midwest, and I'm so glad you could join me today. Now, as I stated the last time I did a Hercules movie, I'm not an expert on Roman or Greek mythology. I almost know nothing about Hercules except what I've seen in these movies. So, that being said, and I could be wrong here, I'd have to think that any of the classic works or myths about this character have nothing to do with men from the moon. Now, I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not an expert, so. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about a film that was first shown on Mystery Science Theater 3000 on August 22nd, 1992. It was a 1964 French-Italian sword and sandal film, Hercules Against the Moon Men. This thrilling epic was directed by Giacomo Gentilomo, and it stars Alan Steele, Jany Clair, Maria Polani, Nando Tamberlani, and many other wonderful people. Now, if you recall, this was the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, in which begins with Tom and Crow going off on their own, running away from home. They don't make it too far before they turn back, crying and whatnot. Meanwhile, the Mads come up with deep hurting, and it has something to do with a sandstorm. Joel and the bots invent Freak Out, and if that isn't enough, there's Super Freak Out. Dr. Forrester really doesn't go in for freaking out, but Frank, on the other hand? At first break, Joel and the bots do the amazing booby trap illusion. This bit features many jokes about the term booby, and it has one of the most corniest jokes ever at the end. Later, Joel gives the bots new arms, and they try to come up with new tough guy names like Alan Steele. While Crow gets it, Tom just doesn't understand the concept, and it finishes with Tom's new arms being rejected by his body. Having noticed that all the men in the film wear skirts, Joel and the bots sing a song about pants. And the Mads quickly remind them about deep hurting and sandstorm. And as the show finishes, Joel explains to the bots why Steve Reeves wasn't in the film. This goes into a discussion of other actors who were replaced in sequels and on TV series. Gypsy leaves crying when she learns that Richard Basehart wasn't the original Admiral Nelson in the film version of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Dr. Forrester is a little confused by the fact that Joel and the gang have survived the movie, and he turns his anger on Frank. Planet's on a collision course as Earth's mightiest Titan battles moon monsters. Hercules against the Moon Men. So who can argue with that poster? I certainly can't, because I have no idea what this movie's about. Seriously. I've seen the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode like 10 times, and I still have no clue what this movie's about. In fact, I can't remember a thing about it except for sandstorms. So when I watch the film a little bit later, it'll be like the first time I've ever seen it. Anyway, one big problem I have in doing this is I can't find anything to talk about at all when it comes to this movie. But I did read a bit on Wikipedia, America's favorite source of information, and Wikipedia had this to say. In the original Italian language version, the hero was not Hercules but Maciste, originally a hero in silent Italian cinema. Hercules Against the Moon Men blends elements from a number of mythologies. Roman, Greek, ancient Egyptian, and Cretan elements are all thrown in. Filming took place in Italy, primarily at the Cinecittà Studios, Cinecittà, Rome, and in Lazio, Italy. I guess it was common for films featuring Maciste to be made into Hercules movies for English-speaking audiences, but I could be wrong. Anyway, as far as I can tell, this was the 13th Hercules movie made in the Italian series. There was Hercules, Hercules Unchained, The Love of Hercules, Hercules and the Captive Women, Hercules in the Haunted World, Hercules in the Valley of Woe, Ulysses Against Hercules, The Fury of Hercules, Hercules and the Masked Rider, Hercules, Samson and Ulysses, Conquest of Mysia, Hercules Against the Barbarians, and Hercules Against Rome. And all these were made like in 5 or 6 years. Anyway, now the people who played Hercules up to this point in Italian films were Steve Reeves, Mickey Hargitay, Reg Parks, Frank Gordon, Mike Lane, Brad Harris, Kurt Morris, Gordon Scott, Mark Forrest, and of course our hero today, Alan Steele. The film was directed by Giacomo Gentilomo, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, dude. I'm sorry if I'm not. Anyway, he lived from 1909 to 2001. He was an Italian director, writer, and painter. He was originally a film editor, but turned to directing starting in the mid-1930s. Hercules Against the Moon Man was his last film before he decided to give up filmmaking and become a full-time painter. So, now why don't we look at our cast? First, of course, there's Alan Steele. And of course, no one in the history of the world has ever been born with the name Alan Steele. He was actually born Sergio Shawnee, and he lived from 1935 to 2015. He was actually Italian. I mention this because he might have been the only Italian actor ever to play Hercules in the original Italian series. And you might have guessed that he was a bodybuilder. He started out as Steve Reeves' double in Hercules Unchained in 1959. He also had a small role in Reeves' next film, The Giants of Marathon, also in 1959. He continued to act until 1979. Some of his other films were Samson and the Mighty Challenge from '64, Slaughter on the Khyber Pass from 1970, and Robin Hood, Arrows, Beans, and Karate from 1976, in which he played the title character. Jany Clair plays Queen Samaria. Jany was born on September 2nd, 1938, and is still alive today. She is a French actress who appeared in many sword and sandal films. Some of her other films were The Night They Killed Rasputin from 1960, The Road to Fort Alamo in '64, and The Exterminators in 1965. Apparently, she retired in 1966. Maria Polani plays Agar. Anna was born on March 24, 1947, and had a very short film career. I really couldn't find out much information about her. Nando Tamberlani plays Gladius. Nando was an Italian character actor who lived from 1896 to 1967. His brother was Carlos Tamberlani, if that means anything to you. He appeared in many films of this type, including The Warrior and the Slave Girl in 1958, The Mole Men Against the Son of Hercules in '61, The Fury of Achilles in 1962, Hercules of the Desert in '64, and many more. He passed away 3 years after today's film. Okay, enough with our cast. Why don't we try to figure out what this film is about? What is Hercules Against the Moon Men? The film opens with a fiery mass hitting the ground. I'll let the narrator tell you about it.
Within the bowels of the mountain, a new and monstrous life was formed. From that day on, the people of Samar, in order to survive, were forced to offer their children as a sacrifice to the hungry Mountain of Death.
Mountain of Death? I don't like the sound of that. We get a bunch of people, I'm guessing sacrifices, that are being herded like cattle through a door with a green light inside. Cut to Queen Samara sitting on her throne. It seems one of her trusted men think that this sacrifice thing, well, it isn't a good idea.
Listen to the desperate cries of the mothers of Samar, the screams of the innocent victims. Queen Samara, you must not allow this wanton slaughter. There exists a man, one who's so marvelous, whose courage and whose strength have allowed him to overcome any danger that threatens.
And do you think you'll be able to conquer those who reign on the Mountain of Death?
Yes.
Superman, Batman, Underdog? Who do you think they're talking about? I do like the blue outfit she's wearing. But the Queen sends the old man away. She's not really interested in fixing the problem. But who is this hero the old man was talking about?
What's his name?
Hercules.
Oh, I should have figured. Herc falls for a trap, but hey, I'm more worried about the horse. But these attackers, they're no match for the son of Zeus. At the same time, the Queen has some neat lighting effects going on.
Samara, you have failed. Hercules is alive. He escaped from the trap you set for him.
Alive? But how could he avoid death at the hands of my best soldiers?
And those are your best soldiers, huh? Okay, this conversation goes on for a bit, but I'll try to sum it up. Apparently there's a Princess Bliss who needs to be sacrificed before the next full moon so a Queen Selena can be brought back to life. And apparently this needs to be done, or the Moon Men can't leave the Mountain of Death, and Queen Samara can't become the most powerful woman on the Earth. Hey, if you understand the logic in this, well, you're a better person than I. Apparently, the mighty Hercules is in the way. We meet Bliss and her secret lover, Prince Darix. They want the Moon Men situation taken care of, but the Queen is listening. Now remember the old man from a few minutes ago? That was Gladius, and he has a daughter named Agar. Agar is going to sneak Hercules into the city, but of course they need to hide him from the Queen.
I saw you leaving the city at daybreak, Agar.
I'm greatly honored that my queen should take the trouble to watch over me.
If I do so, it's for your own good, my dear.
Hercules and Gladius get together, and Gladius tells Herc all the stuff we, the audience, already know. But eventually he gets around to asking the big question.
Hercules, that's why I sent for you. You've always been a great fighter in the cause of justice, and you've always been the victor. Will you lead the people of Samar to liberation?
What if Hercules said no, or he said, Hercules, needs a little scratch because the Herc has bills to pay. So this old guy is sneaking Herc out of the city, but the Queen has seen everything.
This is the moment.
The young woman, Agar, who's the old man's daughter, follows. And then we are treated to a lot of sneaking around. But then, it's not looking good for the old man, and Hercules isn't doing much better. I don't see what this water thing's supposed to accomplish. I mean, as it fills up, Herc can just swim back to the top and get out, right? Or am I crazy about that? Agar finds her dad, and of course she's a little upset. Hercules escapes that pit and runs into this gorilla dude, and your guess is as good as mine, but of course Hercules quickly takes care of the ape situation. And of course, what would a Hercules film be without the bending of bars? So back to Herc trying to stop the sacrifice.
And as for Hercules, I want him taken alive. He'll pay dearly for all the trouble he's caused me.
And finally, Princess Bliss gets the nerve to ask Queen Samara if she can marry Prince Darix.
You could make me the happiest woman in the world. Samara, Prince Darix loves me, and if you'll only give your consent, we'll be married immediately.
And we must remember that Bliss is the one who needs to die before the next full moon to bring back Queen Selena so Queen Samara can become the most popular woman on Earth, and the Moon Men can leave the mountain, or something like that. The Queen agrees, but only after she sends Derek out on a mission. It might be me, but I really don't trust the Queen.
He'll be leaving the first thing tomorrow morning. Though he'll be away from you, it won't be for very long. Are you satisfied?
Oh, I'm so happy.
We cut to a meeting of the villagers who are, of course, upset with the children being sacrificed thing. And they're looking for someone to help. Enter our hero.
With you leading us, we will win.
Let me present Prince Darix, Hercules.
Claudius thought very highly of you, Prince.
That's right.
We'll get along well together.
You stay here with us. No one will think of looking for you in my tavern.
And as they make plans for the battle, someone is able to take their mind off the situation by dreaming of those Herc muscles. So Herc goes to the place where the sacrifices are being taken. But before he can do anything, he gets interrupted like he doesn't have enough on his plate already.
The Princess Bliss needs your help.
At your service.
The Queen has sent Darix away on a mission to Cora.
It's only a pretext. She found out that Darix is one of the conspirators.
Timor, get my horse, fast. Darix is already on the road to Corum.
Yes, he left about an hour ago.
We are all following this, right? Anyway, I guess saving the sacrifices will have to wait.
Even if it costs me my life, Darix will be saved.
Oh dang, Hercules is a bit too late.
I arrived just in time, Prince.
Just in time might have been before the arrow entered his chest.
I owe you my life.
Don't worry about that. We've got to think about your wound. That arrow's really in deep.
So they treat Prince Darix's wounds, and the wound doesn't look all that bad considering he just had an arrow buried deep in his chest. Anyway, the Herc's got some questions about the Queen.
How could she always guess where I'd be?
The people say she has powers that are supernatural. She possesses a magic powder which causes any man who takes it to look at her through the eyes of love.
Oh, and now we've got this to deal with, a love potion number 9? So they start rounding up more sacrifices. But here's the thing, I can accept 1 or 2 sacrifices a month, but this, does there have to be so many? You would think after a month or 2 they'd run out of people to sacrifice. When the home Hercules is staying in gets invaded, Herc does what Herc does best, fights. But I have to ask here, what is Herc grabbing with his right hand? And of course, Hercules wins the battle because Hercules always wins the battle. But soon, as he's taking Derricks to safety, there's more bad news.
Billis has been taken. I saw her in chains with the other prisoners.
Go on ahead.
I've had days like this at work. It's one crisis after another, and it usually happens on a Friday. I wonder if this is taking place on a Friday. So we see a scene like we saw at the beginning of the film, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same footage. Now, halfway through our film, we're still waiting for the Moon Men.
Come, Princess. But you're not Billis.
Another trap. Yep, it's a Friday. Now I'm assuming that's the queen that they're trying to bring back from the dead. And look, she looks just like Princess Billis.
They're absolutely identical.
That is why I ordered you to bring the Princess Billis. Our Queen Silena will awaken from her long sleep and will live again through the blood of Billis.
No! You're my own sister! You brought me here to kill me! How could you be such a monster?
I wonder if those rock costumes put the film over budget. Let's find out what this is all about.
When the planet Saturn comes into conjunction with Mars, and under the evil influence of Uranus, then will occur unimaginable disasters. The oceans will rise, the mountains crumble, and inexorably our moon will draw near the Earth.
And maybe there'll be a sandstorm. We cut to Hercules in chains. Could this be the end for our hero? Hey, I recognize this from the poster. A little something for the ladies. Is it me, or does the queen seem like she's getting a bit turned on?
Stop!
Come on, you really didn't think a silly torture device like that could do in our favorite muscle man? Now, the Moonmen have told the queen to kill Hercules, but she seems to have something else on her mind because there's a little harmless flirting going on here.
And take me by the throat and break my neck the way you'd break the stem of a flower. Why don't you do it?
Herc, don't drink that. I wouldn't drink that. Tell you what, when she's not looking, dump it out, all right?
But it's urgent.
Wait outside.
Hey, you know what you're doing, don't you? Agar, who has been exiled, goes to Derricks for help to save Hercules, but it's another trap. Both of them are captured. Meanwhile, Hercules is living the life of Riley.
At your side, I would become the most powerful man in the world. Yet, you never explained how these things would come to pass.
Pretty sneaky, Herc, getting her to talk. When Agar and Derricks are brought before him, they both feel betrayed.
Let them die of starvation. Give them plenty of time to regret having taken up arms against you.
This isn't you, Hercules. It's not possible.
But we, the audience, knows that Hercules has a plan. Because you see, once the queen tells Hercules what he wants to know, he can reveal the shocking truth.
I gave them Billis.
You what?
At this moment, Billis is in the hands of the Stone Men. Her sacrifice will revive Selena, their queen.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to find out.
What are you saying?
You thought you had me under your spell, but your magic filter didn't work on me. I knew what I was doing all the time.
Now he goes off to save Bliss, and of course, there's a lot of fighting on the way. And let's hear that scream again. The Herc saves his friends just as the guards arrive. Look, the queen is upset. At least you can compliment her hair or something, to lift her spirits.
The soldiers have deserted. Only my guards are resisting, and Hercules is massacring them.
We must escape then.
Are they using axes against a steel door? Hey, whatever works. There's a bit more fighting, of course, and then there's the dreaded sandstorm.
Rodolphus! 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 Rodolphus!
Rodolphus? Rodolphus? Is that what that thing is called? For this whole movie, I had no idea.
No, don't kill me! I didn't betray you! I'm the one who's betrayed! No! No!
Look, they move very slow and their arms don't seem to work. Surely you could escape, but... well, I guess not.
No! Oh! No! No!
And we go back to the sandstorm. Hey, look, if I have to suffer through the sandstorm, so do you. But don't worry, I'm cutting a lot of it out because this goes on forever! And what is that? So they drip blood from the dead queen onto Bilis, and that brings Queen Selina back to life? Somehow, I guess? And more sandstorm. What does that have to do with the plot? Alright, look, did somebody spike my coffee with a psychedelic drug? Like LSD, psilocybin, or mescaline or something? Look, I'm not mad, right? I just need to know. My brain hurts! Can Hercules defeat the Rockmen? Okay, those flames were caused by knocking over a statue. Is that what I'm getting here? And somehow that has killed Queen Selina? Are you getting all this? Because I'm confused. And it looks like Derricks and Bilis are trapped. Surely this is the end for the young couple and... oh, I guess not. They're on the beach with the Herc and Agar.
Do you really have to leave us, Hercules?
Yes, Prince. I may be needed in some other part of the world.
Bilis and I hope that Agar can persuade you to stay.
Can I persuade Agar to share the risks I will surely encounter?
Oh, yes. For the rest of my life.
So I guess they're all alive and well, with Herc and Agar riding off to find more adventure in the next film. So what was the deal with that whole sandstorm thing? I mean, why was it there? I'm guessing it had something to do with the end of the world and the full moon and the moon men and all that, but wow, it was really unnecessary. I mean, you won't believe how long it takes to get through that when you're watching the movie. It just goes on and on. I'm not sure if MST3K cut out bits of it or not, but wow, it was a tough watch. Anyway, in a film like this, try to keep the plot simple. I mean, if you have to have your characters constantly repeating or telling the audience what's going on, then something's wrong with your script. I don't know. It's just so convoluted. This and her and the moon men and wow. Anyway, and why the sacrifices? What was that about? They never explain once why the moon men need to sacrifice all the youngsters, and most of the youngsters look like teenagers or older anyway. I don't know. Anyway, Alan Steele wasn't all that bad in this movie, but the movie itself, it just wasn't good. It's got to be the worst Hercules movie I've ever seen. I've only seen the ones that Mystery Science Theater 3000 have shown. Anyway. The music for this film was composed by Carlo Franchi. Carlo lived from 1927 to 2019. He was a music composer and actor from Argentina. He did the music for a lot of these sword and sandal films from 1949 to 1965. And I have to say, the music might have been the best part of this movie. Now, since I didn't have a lot to talk about today, I thought I would do two obscure references. The first one is this.
Behind the Green Door.
Ooh. That was from a 1956 song called Green Door by Jim Lowe. But I think Joel's comment was more likely a reference to the 1972 pornographic film of the same name starring Marilyn Chambers. And then we have this one.
Trumpy, you're angry!
And that, of course, was from Pod People, one of the classic Mystery Science Theater 3000 episodes. Now, Mystery Science Theater 3000 showed only 74 minutes of this 90-minute film, so if you're like me, up to this point, you've only seen what they showed on Mystery Science Theater 3000, but now that I've seen the whole 90-minute cut, there's nothing there you really need to see. You're fine with what you saw, really. So in 3 weeks, I'll be going back to the world of Mr. Big, of Burt I. Gordon, and we'll be talking about the 1962 American adventure fantasy film, The Magic Sword. It's not a good film, but we do have Basil Rathbone in it, so we can talk some Sherlock Holmes. We have Gary Lockwood, so we can talk a little 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then there's Estelle Winwood, who had an amazingly long career, so there's that to talk about. Now, I said I'll be back in 3 weeks, and that's because in 2 weeks, I'll be at a big family reunion in Missouri for the whole weekend, so I doubt I'll have a show ready for that. But I do have something else that I might be able to finish and publish anyway, so we'll see how that goes. I hope you understand. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I mean, seriously, the only reason I keep doing this is because people like you seem to enjoy what I do, and that makes me happy, so I make more of these. Anyway, so you stay healthy, take care, and I'll see you in a few weeks, all right? Bye-bye. I said bye-bye. You can turn this off now.